Since I've been here, I go in the arenas. People are fighting all over the place. They're fighting they're fighting in the balconies. They're fighting on the stage. They're fighting everywhere. People running in the matches, hitting people in the back. It makes me so appalled I want to scream. But baby, I have too much class to scream.
The situation with Yamamoto, he obviously cost you the match.
You are correct. You know, about a month ago, Tojo Yamamoto called me at my house in good faith, and knowing the man's background and his ability to manage wrestlers all over the country, that I accepted what he told me in my heart. He said he was going to make me a champion. He promised me matches with Jerry Lawler, Bill Dundee. He promised me the world, and I was ignorant enough to believe it, Mr. Russell. Ignorant. I'll never make that mistake again. So I come to Memphis, and well, you know what he does? Nothing. He is a pain in my pocketbook. He never gave me a match except with people like Tim Leonard. Of course, Tim Leonard is an up-and-coming wrestler. He is a formidable opponent. But I wanted the main event, but he never got me there. But Mr. Yamamoto, Mr. Japanese, Mr. Orient, or whatever you are, one thing I have for you. And I want to tell all you people the same thing. You have been relieved of duty, my friend. You are fired. In other words, I never want to have another thing to do with you, baby, and you get no severance pay.
Yamamoto no longer your manager.
No longer. I mean, no longer, Mr. Russell. One thing I want to say, I have a contract and it's open for any individual or individuals who would like to contact me and can afford to keep me up in the style that I'm accustomed to.
Okay, Chick Golden Boy Donovan, the announcement that Tojo Yamamoto has been relieved of the managerial duties with Chick. He's on his own now. We'll be looking to see him in action.
I am a man of my own until there is enough cash comes to me that I may make another decision. There's one more thing, Mr. Russell. I can be sassy or I can be nasty. Beat me if you can.
Okay, Chick Donovan, and we'll be looking at the Golden Boy a little bit later on. There was a match that took place, and I've been very excited to see Steve Kern in this area. I think this has an interesting one. I want you to watch the action that took place in a bout with Big Jim Dalton on the ringside, in which Kevin Sullivan and Jimmy Hart carried on some very interesting conversation during the match. Take a look at this. Here you go, John. Action underway, and I mean very quickly, too, is Steve Kern with Jim Dalton. Dalton, a big guy. He comes in about 241. Steve Kern at 225. What a real athlete you're looking at right here. Kid with a super reputation, and boy, he has lived up to every minute. What is this? Kevin Sullivan and Jimmy Hart out at ringside. Hart pulls out a wad of dough, and Sullivan trying to give Dalton some money to break his arm or something. I'm just judging by the gestures. Hart and Sullivan, Hart the bag man with the money, and Sullivan trying to get Dalton. Okay, Dalton comes back in with a new purpose. That's really admirable, I'll tell you. And he's going to find it a little harder to earn that money than he had anticipated. Stung him with a forearm. 2, 3, got him. It took a total of 1 minute and 13 seconds. Yeah, but 14 seconds after he jumped back in the ring in there. That is obviously what tried to happen down there with Steve Kern, was Sullivan tried to get him hurt in there. First, I want to ask you, is there any additional word on Roy back there, Steve?
Well, he still hasn't come around yet, Lance. You know, that's just the kind of thing Kevin Sullivan's done to me.
He's afraid of you. There's no question about it. Or he wouldn't been out there trying to get Dalton to break an arm or something.
Well, I'm not going to even make any excuses for that, and I'm not going to try to figure out what Roy had in his mind when he came out here. But I just think it was trying to protect Dutch's back, and I'll just say this. You know, a lot of people are wondering just exactly where I'm coming from here. And I'm going to tell you, Lance, right now, that before I leave this area, I want all the people to understand that I don't do this very often. But when it comes necessary, I'm going to put an oath on my dad. And that's the most serious thing in my life, is my dad, that I will rid Kevin Sullivan of this area, maybe permanently. And when I get done, Kevin Sullivan will never wrestle again.
Okay, Steve, Okay, well, we will be looking at Steve in action a little bit later. Right now, let's take time out, and we'll be back to it in just a moment. What is this guy doing out there? Jimmy Hart coming out with Kevin Sullivan, Wayne Ferris, and Jim Dalton. This really had... what is this? Roy Rogers, unable to wrestle. We, concluded that that was the case. So the third man over there, listen to that one. And Dutch Mantell. Okay, yeah. Dave, we're ready for the introduction.
It's going to be an expiration of time match, 6-man tag action, and on the left of your screen, at a total weight of 692 pounds, it is going to be from Hollywood, California, Chick Donovan, from Boston, Massachusetts, Kevin Sullivan, and from Oklahoma, Jim Dalton. Going against them, total 674 pounds, from Tampa, Florida, Steve Kern, from Oil Trough, Texas, Dutch Mantell, and from Memphis, Tennessee, the King, Jerry Lawler. Match to the expiration of time, 6-man tag, your referee, Jerry Calhoun.
Well, I'll tell you, Davey, on paper, this absolutely looks like one of the best matches we have had in a long, long, long time on championship wrestling. We have got some explosive power on both sides of the ring. Jim Dalton, a veteran who is a tough son of a gun. Golden Boy Chick Donovan, very strong, powerful, hard wrestler, kind of hard to figure out. He doesn't seem to have any friends among anybody in the ring. Yeah. And Kevin Sullivan, the muscle man, the Boston battler, with Jimmy Hart, the mouth. Here we go, bell time, we're off and running.
All right, love 6-man tag matches anyway, and especially with a lineup like we've got right here now. Steve Kern against Dalton to get things started. Dalton back to the corner. Dutch Mantell let him have a forearm while he was back there. Dalton, a veteran out of Oklahoma. Steve Kern had him down on the mat. He's got a headlock on him, and he still has the headlock. Dalton tried to roll the shoulders down, get a quick 3 count out of it. Steve Kern holding Dalton's hand away from the tag. Now the tag is made, and here's the Golden Boy, Chick Donovan. In the battle, Steve Kern. Donovan back to the corner for a little conference with Jim Dalton. Donovan ready to get Steve off his feet. Steve converted it, had the shoulders down very briefly. As Chick Donovan on the mat, Donovan squirming. He's trying to get to that corner. He does. And the tag is made. Jim Dalton will be coming back in. Kevin Sullivan and Steve Kern exchanging words. Steve Kern makes the tag, the Dutchman. I tell you what, Kevin Sullivan looking across that ring. He hit a couple of guys, the Dutch Mantell and Steve Kern, that would really like to get at him. The King, with the right hand, puts Mr. Dalton down on the mat. Comment or two along the way from Jimmy Hart, Kevin Sullivan's manager. Lawler challenging Golden Boy Chick Donovan. Donovan started to wade into the middle of it and then backed away. On the ropes, referee Jerry Calhoun. Oh, got a good, nice, clean break. Donovan popped Lawler, and Lawler returned the favor. High in the air, the backdrop, and Donovan hit hard. Here's Steve Kern back in after the tag. 2 minutes, 45 seconds into the action. First fall action. Expiration of time match. Kern sliding the feet off either side of the Golden Boy's face. Donovan drops across the knee. Kern with a cover. Counts to 2. 2 count is all he gets. Donovan's head rammed into the corner. Here comes Dutch Mantell. Dutch in after the tag. He grabs the Golden Boy, trying to keep him away from the tag. On